I want to share with you guys how I landed my first legal job, because I think it's important to hear all the different ways that law students and new lawyers can get out there and find jobs, because it's not always done how you think it's done or how you're told it's supposed to be done when you're in law school. Picture it, the year was 2011 and the economy was still recovering from the Great Recession of 2008. I had just taken the bar, gotten back from my post-bar trip, and was waiting for results. I actually had secured a job before I took the bar through the internship that I had been doing when I was still in law school. It was at a family law firm, and I had externed there during my third year, and they actually offered me a job, which was awesome. But when I got back from my post-bar trip, I actually got back and learned that that firm had dissolved. So they were no longer in existence, and I was out of a job. So I had some time on my hands, and I was just kind of hanging out at home, right? Just cleaning, doing whatever I could to pass the time while waiting for results. And I started cleaning a big pile of papers that had been stacking up in my room for what seemed like years. And as I went through these papers, I came across an envelope for a scholarship that I had won when I was still in college. So in the corner of that envelope, there was the name of a law firm, which I guess I had never really noticed before. So I decided to look this guy up. I looked him up, and it turned out he was an attorney who practiced family law. And again, at that time, that is what I thought I wanted to do. I took all the classes, I externed in a bunch of family law positions with a judge in law firms. And in my mind, family law is what I wanted to do. So when I found out that this guy practices family law, I was ecstatic. I thought it was kismet, it was meant to be. So I reached out to him. I decided to email him. I sent him an email saying, I would love to meet up with you. Maybe we can grab coffee. I'd love to learn more about family law since you've been practicing for so long. And I wanted to thank you for sponsoring this scholarship that I won in college. So thanks for the money. I really had no ulterior motives. Granted, like I said, was jobless at that point. I really just wanted to meet this guy and talk to him. So he responded saying, yeah, sure, come in. I went into his office, we met up for coffee, and for about an hour and a half, we sat there just talking, right? We just got to know each other. He asked me questions about law school, about my experiences, what I enjoyed doing, about life. And it turned out we actually had quite a few things in common. We went to the same college, and we both were interested in family law. So we just chatted, like I said, got to know each other, and we just made a normal, decent human connection, right? I didn't seem desperate for a job. I didn't full on ask him for one. I did, however, make it known to him that I was just waiting for results and sitting at home, right? So I did drop that into the conversation because I had to, right? But it didn't come off as desperate or that I was really making it awkward that I needed a job. At the end of that conversation, he actually ended up offering me a position as a part-time associate. I, of course, said yes because it was 2011, jobs were scarce, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, so why would I not say yes? So I snatched it up, I took him up on his offer, and I said, yes, thank you so much, and I started a week later. And that's all it took. That's what it was. He didn't look at my resume, he didn't ask me for my transcripts, none of that stuff even mattered. He didn't care if I was top 10 or 20, he didn't care that I was on Law Journal. None of that stuff even came up. So that goes to show, if you are a law student, or if you're a new lawyer and you're just spazzing out because you think that maybe your resume isn't padded with enough activities, or your transcript isn't lined up with all those A's and B's and you're not top 10, don't worry. In my mind, I don't think any of that stuff really matters unless you're actually trying to get a big law position, in which case, okay, maybe then it matters. So that's what it took. It took me reaching out to him, taking that initiative of sending that email, asking him to meet me for coffee, and then having a normal conversation where I got to know him. And of course, mentioning that I was available, but not, again, seeming desperate. For him to be like, you know what, I like your personality, Nicole. I think you are a hard worker. I can tell that you're interested in this. You have drive, you have personality. So come and work for me part-time. That's what it took. Resume wasn't brought up, transcript wasn't brought up, none of that stuff mattered. You know what I mean? So I think that, again, people put a lot of emphasis on this stuff when it's not necessary. What's really important and what's really gonna help you land a job when you graduate, when you pass the bar, is who you know. It's all about the connections that you make and the people that you meet when you go to these networking events that you know you're supposed to be going to, but you kind of hate going to. And it's the relationships that you're nurturing while you're still in law school, or even after you graduate, right? It doesn't end just in law school. So get out there and meet people and make connections, and your resume and transcript will not matter and will not factor into finding a job if you're searching for one, or if you're looking to transition to another job, right? That stuff won't matter. It's the connections and the relationships and the reputation that you build. So work on that more than obsessing over your transcript and your resume. That's my story. That's how I landed my first legal job. Hopefully that's been helpful, and it's given you some insight on the different ways that lawyers can get jobs, because it's not always what law schools tell us, right? Or what the career services office at law schools want us to believe. It's not all about that stuff. It's about meeting people. If you found this useful, I would love for you to subscribe below if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it if you stuck around, left some comments, and kept this conversation going. Let me know how you landed your first job if you're a lawyer and you're practicing somewhere, or if you're a law student. Write down any questions that you might have, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. All right, I will talk to you guys later.